Hey guys, it is Carl Brown from GuitarLessons365.com. Got a great one from a legend today. We're going to learn how to do a rock and roll Hoochie Koo by the great Rick Derringer, who we recently lost, and some people brought it to my attention that I have never done any Rick Derringer, which was, I don't know how these things slip through the cracks when you have like thousands of song listens. You feel like you've already hit it all, but I missed a big one. So we're gonna make up for that. We're gonna do a rock and roll Hoochie Koo today. That's a great rhythm. So I'm just gonna cover all the rhythm stuff, and it's gonna be kind of a condensed rhythm, because there's a lot of overdubs on the album, really great parts and stuff. So kind of put some of that together, and so you can play it with just kind of one guitar part mostly. And when we get to the solo, I'll kind of show you what he's doing, what scales he's using and stuff during the solo, but we will cover the rhythm guitar parts, which is really cool in the solo as well too. But the solo itself we won't be covering. So anyway, before I get into it, please subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Ring the bell. Kind of helps YouTube send this out to more people, especially if you watch the video. That actually helps the most, and comment on it, that's great, and like it. Now, if you truly want to support what I do on YouTube and want to get something even more from it, join my academy. You get personalized support from me when you join the academy. So it's not just a thing where you go, get access to a bunch of courses and just you're in your own world. You can actually communicate with me directly, and I'll help you out along the way. So a lot of people don't realize that when they come to my academy, and they're kind of like, oh wow, we can get to talk to you. So if you're interested in that and kind of getting support from me and access to all my courses that cover from everything from beginner courses to very advanced courses in improvisation and theory and ear training and stuff, check it out. Now, let's jump into the track. So I'm in standard tuning here, and we have this intro. So you're gonna see him play this live, like back in the day and more recently, and he's gonna play it slightly differently than what's on the recording. So it's kind of hard to preface this, and you'll see things like, you can watch that recording from back in like the 70s, which is probably the most well-known live performance of this. Well, he's kind of doing it like that. But that's great, but it's not on the recording. You're hearing these double stops, so it sounds similar, but it's not exactly what he played on the recording. So we're focusing more what's on the recording, not how he might have simplified things a little bit live. Anyway, so let's start with this opening intro. All right, so we're gonna start here with this power chord here at this F power chord. So it's the first fret on low E and third fret on the A. Hit that a couple times, kind of lightly palm muting it, and then there's where I had these double stops, which is really kind of like you're doing that, but you're leaving out that bottom root note there. And what's going on there is you're gonna play the third fret on the A and the D together, and slide it up to the fifth fret. And then go back to play the third fret on the A and the D. And then we kind of do the same thing, but 2 frets higher. So we start here at the power chord at the 3rd fret now. And then, so that's that sliding on the A and the D to the 7, and back to the 5. So this. I like using my pinky for this stuff, but a lot of people don't. So whatever feels comfortable for you. All right, and then we get to this fill, which happens here, and it happens in the chorus as well. And that's probably going to be the hardest part for a lot of people in the song. It's once again, it's something that he kind of simplifies live. He'll play it kind of like that a lot. And he won't go kind of rocking back and forth between the A. But on the recording, that's there, and it kind of, if you palm mute it the right way, it really gives it a lot of energy if you're playing all those notes. So I would suggest kind of playing it, but it's fast. So it's basically starts like this. We have 3/4, and you're gonna want to pick each note. So it's 3/4 on the A string. So this is gonna be heavily palm muted, this part. Then you come over to the 2nd fret on the D and the G. So just a bar there with your index finger. And then back to the 4th fret there on the A string. And then we're gonna go to the 5th fret across the D and the G, then the open A, then the second fret across the D and the G, back to the open, and then open D and G, and then back to the 2nd fret of the D and the G. So those last 2 notes can be, you can let off the muting. So what you want to do here is you want to experiment with since everything's being picked and just alternate picked, you want to kind of experiment with starting with a downstroke or an upstroke, and you're going to find what feels more comfortable for you depending on how you, how you slant your pick when you're. So for me, it feels better to start with an upstroker. And if you did it with a downstroke, that might be better for you. So we have this. So when getting that up to speed it's a quick song. The tempo is pretty quick in a song. All right, and then we're back to the. So there's a little fill here that actually happens in the song. We also have, so there's a couple of guitars there. So when I played in the intro, I just did. But you can also do this, which is going on in there too. So it kind of goes. So you can kind of choose which one to do, or if you have 2 guitar players, one can do that, and the other one can go. So it's a kind of little ending there. So what's going on there is just those double stops again, but it's across the D and the G string. The 7th fret, and then down to the 5, and then the same thing on the A and the D. And then that A power chord at the 5th fret. So basically, you can do it that ending like just this power chord. The C power chord off the 3rd fret of the A string, then the G power chord off the 3rd fret of the low E, and then up to that A. Or, which whenever sounds good. So it looks like this all together. All right, from there we have this. All right, so that little, I just call that kind of like the turnaround, because he uses that a lot to kind of get back to like the verse. So we have this. So that's gonna start with the open A string, and then a kind of slight bend at the 3rd fret on the low E, down to the open E. And then we're gonna do some octaves here. So that's going to be the 4th fret there on the A, the 6th fret there on the G string. So this just those 2 notes. So you got to be mutant, then 1 string in between, and then slide up to the 5th fret. So I have this. All right. So then we're going to move up here, basically up an octave. So that's here at the 11th fret there on the D string, 14th fret there on the B. So you play those. And do that 4 times there. And then we get to verse number 1. So the first verse is different than the other one. So just the other ones he adds some fills, which we'll take a look at. But the first verse, pretty simple, looks like this. All right, so this is kind of straightforward, moves around a lot. It's a real fun riff to play. So we're gonna start with this. Kind of chugging on this A power chord, this open A string, 2nd fret across the D and the G for a little bit, and then we're gonna come up to this 5th fret across the D and the G, and then to the 7th fret on the D and the G, and then back to the 5th fret. So there's some like muted hits in between that. You kind of just And then you're gonna hit the open A string and do that little fill. So that's open A string, then you play the 7th fret there on the D string, and then you start this little 7, 5, and then over to the A string, 7, 6, 5, and then 3, and then slide into the 7th fret there on the D string. So we have this. You might notice when I play that, play those 5s, you might kind of pull them down a little bit as you do. You know when you play that kind of stuff. So we have that first fill, and then you kind of do the riff the same way. It's just the ending fill is going to be a little different. So instead of sliding here, no, so there's overdubs here. You hear like octaves up and stuff. We're obviously just kind of focusing on one part here. So the second time through, instead of going here, he kind of bends into this note. So I kind of just grab the 3rd fret and just kind of bend it up. And this kind of holds, you know, it's because it's an overdub. So he starts to riff over, you can still hear that going, but you obviously can't do that if you can just one guitar. So all together we have this. Repeat. All right, then we get to the first chorus. Looks like this. All right, so that's gonna start here with that power chord at the 1st fret there in the low E string, that F power chord. So that's 2 hits on the power chord, and then you're gonna do a quick down, up, just mute it. So just mute these strings down here. And then take the same thing here. We're gonna go to move it up to the 3rd fret, and basically do the same thing. 2 hits and then 4 muted hits. So. And then we get to that riff. So we've already covered that in the intro. And then it goes basically similar to what we did in the intro. So that's kind of like that F chord twice. And then those double stops there, the 5th fret to the 3rd on the A and the D string. And then the C power chord, G, and then back to that riff again. So basically we repeat everything again after that. So we have this so far. Then repeat. So the repeat at the end when we went back to the riff after we did that that was like the first ending. When we repeat the riff, when we come back around, we do over here, just up to the A chord and stop. We don't go into the riff again. So some muted hits here, and then we have that little turnaround riff again. Then we get to verse number 2. So this one, very similar to the verse 1. He just adds like a little overdub in there. And I'm gonna kind of do the overdub along with it so we can kind of mash them into one guitar part. So, because it sounds pretty cool. And it just kind of builds the intensity of the song as it goes. So we have this. So as you can see, I just kind of added that fill so that the riff itself is kind of the same as we did before. And then when you repeat the riff, there's a little fill in there. So sometimes it'll be it's just kind of a quick bend and release at the 7th fret on the G string, pull off to 5. And when I hit the 7th fret on the D, I'm also going to hit the open H. And that's that. So he does the fill when he's going to, at the beginning of the riff that ends with that, the repeat that ends with the bend instead of the. So we have this. Repeat with the fill. Then you repeat all again. So sometimes when he does that, it's like he'll grab not only the G string and do that kind of bend and release and pull off to the 5th, but he'll grab the G and the B. All right, so you can kind of, he just mixes it up throughout. But so it's kind of, for the rest of the song when he's doing the verse, that the repeat of each verse, when you're going into that bend, he's gonna put that little fill in that riff. All right, so then we get to the chorus again. So the chorus is the same as the first chorus, so nothing new to cover there. So we're good there. So then it gets to that same turnaround coming out of the chorus, leading us into the solo section. And then we have the solo itself. So I'm gonna cover like I said, the rhythm parts, get some cool rhythm guitar parts to the solo, but we're not gonna cover the solo. I'll talk about what he's doing during the solo though. But let me just show you the rhythm parts to it first. So it looks like this. All right, so some interesting stuff there. So we're gonna start here with this. It's basically like the verse riff without that little tail on it. So we're basically gonna do that, the verse riff 4 times. And here's where he starts kind of throwing some stuff in at you. We go like this. So that is just an A power chord down to a G power chord. So that's going to be the 7th fret there on the D string, 9th on the G, 10 on the B. So play that and then take it down 2 frets. Then. So from there. So I'm gonna hit this a couple times. This double stop at the 5th fret on the D and the G, and then up to 7, and then back to 5. So, and then the normal riff again. So hit this. And then I'm gonna start that riff again. So we kind of do it like we just learned, kind of added chords up top. And then it's gonna go, it kind of vamps on that A power chord. You're kind of going against this open A string. That sounds like a cheesy greedy. All right, going into a completely different song. So anyway, so far with the solo rhythm, we have this. from there we go into this.
All right, so that's gonna kind of do this like Chuck Berry type thing. So we have this A power chord, so it's the 5th fret on low E, 7 on the A. We do that, and then we move to the 9th fret there on the A strings to keep this 5th fret there on the low E. So you play that, and then you do it quicker. So this. And then you're gonna go into this. So that's gonna be sliding 5 to 7 on the A string, and then grab those double stops there at the 5th fret across the D and the G. And then 7 on the A string, up to 9, slide up to 9. And then grab the 7th across the D and the G. Sorry. And then you're gonna end it there with the 8th fret there on the low E string, so this. So you're gonna do that, I think, 8 times. All right, so that is it for the solo. Now, what he's actually playing in the solo, you know, it's just all A minor pentatonic mostly. I'm not trying to play what he's playing. I actually don't know the solo, but I know he's playing an A minor pentatonic. So that's really all you have to think about. So you don't have to get too crazy with it. If you don't know like a lot of scale patterns and your minor pentatonic forms, you're obviously not a member of my academy. It's a shame. Anyway, so, but you can simplify this by just learning that most people know this pattern in A minor. If you've had kind of any experience with the guitar. And then you can just take that up an octave, which is what he's doing a lot. And just don't try to overcomplicate it. But he does kind of take in a lot of the fretboard, probably more than the average kind of blues-based player. He's kind of moving around quite a bit. He doesn't rely on just kind of the forms. He's there in the middle. He kind of moves around quite a bit. So if you want to know your A minor pentatonic skills, or any scales at all, come to the academy. All right, so that's what he's doing during the solo, and then we go back into the verse. And this verse is just like the second verse that has that fill in it. All right, so that takes us to the last chorus, which is a lot more involved than the previous chorus. He kind of throws like kind of the simple chorus that we've been playing throughout the song, and then he starts throwing like elements of the intro at us, and then kind of go. So the whole thing all together looks like this. Big rock ending. All right, so we're gonna start. So it starts kind of like the normal chorus. So that's kind of just like the chorus we've already done, and then we kind of repeat. So we kind of just end with the A. So it's kind of like the normal chorus so far, and then he does some muted hits, and then he starts over. So then it goes when you start playing the chorus again right here. So we basically just did the normal chorus first, and then we're going to extend it by kind of starting with the riff that is the kind of really the intro of the song. Right there, but it goes back into, so it kind of starts with it. So we did that in the intro and then to the riff. And then back to the, and then the C and the G, and then into the riff. Then repeat that exactly the same. So it's basically very similar to the intro, so, and we do it twice. Repeat. All right, from there, we go to kind of something a little bit different than he usually does it. He's kind of combining multiple ways of playing taking like a little part of the chorus and repeating it, which is just this. So that little thing. So it's just basically, that's 5-3, and then the C, G, and then the riff. Then repeat that. Now, after you've gotten that far, so we've done the regular chorus that we've done throughout the song, followed by the really what was very similar to the intro, played twice. And then this little thing, which is one little part of the end of the chorus repeated twice. We just get to this F hit, then the G. Just hit each power chord once. And then to the A power chord. Kind of tremolo pick that, and you are done. So I'll play through the entire last chorus again for you. Hopefully you'll be able to play along. Here we go. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Rest in peace, Rick Derringer. It's a really fun track to play. Just throw the guitar parts alone. You can do it for days. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you again soon for GuitarLessons365.com.